Are we on? Well, folks, we're back again. I'm late again. Didn't mean to be. Been having some work done on the house. And I'm going to do week 3 here. Let's go ahead and dump out what we got and see what we're doing. Wow. Look at the color come out of that. Isn't that just gorgeous? That'd make a real beautiful pendant, I think. So we clean everything off. Something you want to, I didn't may have mentioned before, that you want to turn, you might want to make sure that you take care of is you want to tumble rocks that are all the same hardness. And there's a thing called the Mohs scale, M-O-H-S, and that determines the hardness of a rock. Whereas it's a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being diamond, because we know diamond's pretty much our hardest substance on the earth. And it starts out, I believe, with talc as being the softest, because it is soft. And it's even got your fingernail rated in it, and it's somewhere between a gypsum and a calcite, I believe. But as you can see, we're tumbling out pretty good. So you can tumble rocks that are different types of rocks as long as they have the same Mohs rating on their scale as far as the hardness. That's the main thing you want to make sure of. Because, you know, I'm doing Tiger Eye, and it's all pretty much the same hardness, so that's not a problem. But if you decide to do like calcite, you gotta make sure whatever you're doing with that calcite is the same hardness. You don't want to go a little softer, and you certainly don't want to go with anything harder to go with it, because it'll really eat up your material. And you don't want that. You want to try to get some sort of, you want to get an even balance where you can end up with some beautiful stones like this. All right, we're cleaning up pretty good there, folks. And scrub these off one last time before our next run here. As you can see, everything's tumbling out just absolutely beautiful. Look at the color in that. It just lights up a fire. That is so beautiful. I'd make a beautiful little pendant right there. Just to look at that fire. Like some of these, he would make some good luck stones or whatever. People do different things with rocks. They believe they have different powers. I'm not adverse to saying that, but I don't know that there isn't powers in rocks. But as we go along here, you can see all the different colors and fire that's coming out on these as we go. We'll just chop them right in the barrel. We'll keep going right along, make sure we get all the last grit off, because right now is the most important stage. You cannot have any of that last grit in here whatsoever. Because if so, it's going to ruin the batch coming up. See, like there's a little flaw right there. We're going to make sure, scrub it out good. Because anything that's hung up in there that's any of that grit will just I said it's going to ruin the whole run because it'll scratch, and it'll scratch everything and not polish. You can see the nice hematite layer right there. It's just all coming through. Another piece of red here. Let's see what it comes out to be. Oh, that's just beautiful. Tell you what, that's satisfying, you know, when you get to this point and you start seeing the fruits of your labor, making this actually look good, from plain old stone to a polished beauty. Again, there's just another beautiful piece of red. I think my next run is going to be some blue tiger eye. I think I've acquired enough of that now to make a run. We can all enjoy that. It's pretty much going to be the same thing. I might just show you what I start with. And maybe do a couple of videos in the middle just to show how we're coming through. But just the fire in these things is just so beautiful. Definitely want to get down in them cracks as good, best as you can. With the tips of them bristles, get in there and just scrub so we can get the bits of grit out. So, nice little banding right there. That's just so beautiful. The nice thing is, you turn around and you get a different set of flash and fire. Another piece of red, or no, that's gold. Looking at it from the wrong side. Well, we're working on this. If you have any questions, you can shoot me questions and stuff. I'll answer them as best as I can. Although there are people out there probably more experienced than I am in this. There are websites to do this. I appreciate everybody watching this. You don't have to. There's other sites showing you the same thing. Oops. Then I'll have to start over, whatever that one was. As you can see, it just coming out fantastic. Got plenty of beauty at the end of this run. Alright, as we go along here, I'm going to add some pellets. Now I got fresh pellets here. And you don't have, pellets are the same price whether you buy them at the rock store or at the craft store. It's closer for me to go to a craft store than it is a rock store, unfortunately. And these are the beads that they use like in stuffed animals to weight them down or whatever, make them stand up. But they're basically the same as what you buy in the store. As you can see, they're nothing fancy like the last ones are like little discs. These are just like little plastic chips, no big deal. All I'm doing with these is just providing a cushion for the stones so they don't break and chip up against each other. And it might help too to stir these stones up just a hair. You know, get the beads in between the stones. That should be good, I think. I don't want so much that it's not, the grit can't do its job neither. So as we're going along here, our next grit is certainly not that one. It could be if I wanted to go ahead and finish up, but I'm really trying to get a gorgeous finish as best I can on it. What we're using this time is a 500 grit, and as you can see, it's powdered. This is fine as baking flour. So just want to be careful not to inhale any of this as you're dumping this. You want to try to make sure you're outside, or at least well ventilated area as best you can. And you don't want to be in a tiny little hole and get stuck breathing the dust. Shouldn't do that at all. But as we dump it in here, you can see it does have a little bit of sparkle to it, but again, it's a fine grit. And it's going to come up in a week that we'll have even more shine on these dudes. And we'll go ahead and add some water. That's probably a good amount of water. You don't want a lot. Probably a little too much at this point. But I want to make sure all my material will tumble good. Just make sure there's no grit on the sealing lips over here, because you don't want anything leaking out of here. If you tumble dry, you can actually damage your run. And something else you need to be aware of. Make sure the stones that you're tumbling don't produce a gas as they're tumbling. At times, stones do that, and they will pop the top off your lid. Pop this lid out, and it usually makes a horrendous mess. So you definitely want to avoid that. So we're going to go ahead and call it a week. We'll see you in one more week, and hopefully we'll still have some beautiful stones to look at. Thanks, everybody.